Good afternoon, traders. This is Tony D from the easyMarkets dealing room. We've got an important update from yesterday. I told you that the market was on edge and potentially we're going to have some heavy selling coming through. Definitely eventuated that way. The Eurozone crisis that was coming out of Italy at the moment is getting to systemic stages where it's really jumping across onto other markets, particularly stocks, and also the yields of Spanish bonds now are increasing compared to the German yields. You are seeing some pretty heavy selling in the US treasuries as well. Now that's coming through because of the risk-off sentiment. That means US 10 years are dropping sharply. That's helping dollar yen fall, which it was doing anyway from the risk-off appetite, risk-off mood the market was in from the stocks falling. And so you've got this situation now where it's an almost full risk-off mode, and that's coming. It's not just the euro anymore. You got the pound under pressure. You've got the Aussie dollar and Aussie yen getting sold aggressively. So it's full-on risk-off at the moment, and that's really likely to continue until the circuit breaker. So as a trader, you can see the market's oversold, but the sentiment's so negative that the selling can continue until we have a reason for the market to stop. And little rallies like we got in the euro last night were sold into pretty aggressively, and we're at lows going into Europe today. The circuit breaker that a lot of traders are looking for and wanting to see the reaction to is the ECB itself. The main and sole buyer of Italian bonds at the moment is the ECB, and they're the ones trying to keep this from getting out of control at the moment. And so they have a bit of an issue though, given that they were on plan to stop buying bonds in September. Now that you got so much pressure on Italian bonds and Spanish bonds, it's going to be very hard for them to keep to that plan. And this is a scenario now where if there is going to be two more months at the very least of Italian issues before the next election, you will see the central bank have to step in and help with the selling or buying of Italian bonds to stop the rot. Now, if they come in with a very aggressive statement, that can cause a spike higher in the euro and in risk assets. But because of the long-term impacts this will have on the ECB's mandate and timing of ending QE and raising rates, very likely to be a euro negative medium-term event. So selling into rallies is the right idea. Just when we're going to get that rally, when we're going to get those comments from the ECB, and if they do anything to help, is the big question traders have in their minds at the moment. If you're looking at the ways of expressing euro weakness without the US dollar or the yen, you can look at the euro pound, developing quite nicely in a downtrend, breaking some key supports, looking towards the previous lows now of 86.20 there. And then below that, you have a lot of open air from the Brexit rally that you had. The pound under so much pressure for the last couple of years. That's got us all the way up above the 80 levels in general. And so the movement lower in a crisis in Eurozone is definitely a real potential. And the last crisis we had in Eurozone, we did see the euro pound all the way down towards 70. So there is a lot of room here. Not as fast as the euro and the euro yen, but still doesn't have too much of the watching closely for the headlines there that can really muck up a trade in the next 24-48 hours. Those of you who are looking at some of the trades in this video, you see dollar yuan on there. Now dollar yuan is the Chinese currency, and with all the threats and moving forward of trade tariffs on China overnight, there was commentary from the US that they were going ahead with 25% tariffs on technology imports. Now look, negotiations still happening in the background, so that could be just a bit more of a threat than reality, but still has the effect of negativity towards Chinese yuan, puts more pressure with the US dollar being strong for the dollar yuan to go higher, and is now well above that previous range high. So it's looking like it can break, well, it has broken higher. It's looking like it can move towards those previous resistances that they spent a lot of time in. That's up much more closer to 6.5 than where we are currently. This also has a negative effect on the Aussie, and one of the reasons Aussie was sold more aggressively in the end of the US session than some of the other pairs, which were a little bit more stable. Look, dollar index is now back towards that 95 level. That was the previous high. Break above that does open up all the way up towards 98 and parity again. So there is a lot of room here for the dollar to rally in euro-led sell-off. 60% of this dollar index is euro-based anyhow, so it is a bit of a proxy of the euro, but it does have the mix of the others, including the yen, when the yen is the strongest. So the yen is going down while all the majors are going down. So the euro yen and the pound yen are under heavy selling pressure. Euro yen's now at levels that would be hard to imagine a month ago. Back down at 125. You do have a fair bit of room below this as well, though. We at the depths in 2015, we were a lot lower, and so there is movement, there is reason and potential for the euro yen to go lower. It's just when you get in and looking to sell that rally, if we do get stabilizing comments, would be the game plan as well, unless you're very much focused on the pair and keeping an eye on it at all times, especially going into this European session today. This timing wise, it would be prudent for them to have some sort of commentary from the ECB at the beginning of the session today. If that doesn't happen, then yeah, more likely we'll see more and more selling until that pain point is found. If you want to have a bigger discussion on some of the crosses and what's going on in the market, don't hesitate to come through on the contact below. If you're not dealing room client of easyMarkets, you can sign up below as well and get a dealer like myself to assist you with your trading through this quite perilous and well, opportunity but very risky event. Thank you.